Well, hey everyone, thanks for joining us again for the Daily Word. My name is Kyle, I'm one of the pastors at Redeemer, and we're going to continue studying through the book of Mark this morning in chapter 5. So we're going to get through about the first half here, and really it's a narrative that begins to tell the story here of Jesus healing a man with a demon. And this is something we want to recognize as Mark recording for us Jesus' authority and power over the demonic realm. So this is important in the doctrine of Christology to show us that Jesus was not only a man, completely and fully a man, but that he was also God, because only God can command angels, even fallen angels. In case you didn't know that fallen angels are still under the command of God and can only operate inside the bounds in which God allows. So in chapter 5, we want to kind of read through this narrative. I'm just going to read through this. Great thing about Mark, the chapters aren't super long, so I can read through this and we'll kind of talk through what's going on here. So it says here in chapter 5, and they came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes, that is the other side of the Sea of Galilee. And when Jesus had stepped out of the boat, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. So clearly this is a societal outcast. He's a guy with a demon. He's probably a little crazy and definitely unclean as far as the world would be concerned. And so it says he lived among the tombs and no one could bind him anymore, even with a chain. So if you think about what the demon is doing to this person, giving him supernatural strength and rage to cause issues. For he had often been bound with shackles and chains, but wrenched the chains apart, and he broke the shackles into pieces, and no one had the strength to subdue him. And night and day, among the tombs on the mountains, he was always crying out and cutting himself with stones. Now you imagine the torture that would be for this human to be overtaken by an unclean spirit and to be forced to not only shriek and scream all day, just ruining his voice, but thrashing himself against rocks and cutting himself with stones and breaking apart chains. And you think the damage that would do to his body. And so Jesus saw this and wants to be gracious. And when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and fell down before him, and crying with a loud voice, he said, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High? I adjure you by God, don't torment me." For he was saying to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." This is fascinating. So the demonic world recognized who Jesus was. They knew who he was. There was no hiding the fact that Jesus was God and that he had authority over them. And so he's coming down saying, like, don't send me away, like, let me stay here. But Jesus is saying, come out of that man. And Jesus said, "What is your name?" And he replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And that's not the man, that's the demon speaking. And so now we're revealed that this man not only has a demon, but has a legion of demons living inside of him. And they've left their realm and they're abiding in this human, and they're trying to escape from whatever it is that they have by living inside this man. And he begged him earnestly not to send him out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding on the hillside, and they begged him, saying, "Send us into the pigs, let us enter them instead." So he gave them permission. Now you can see that demons sort of have this, there's this sense of Satan having control over this world. The prince of the power of the air, he is called. And this fallen, broken world, Satan sort of has the freedom to roam around and prowl like a lion. And his angels also have the freedom to come in and interact with, and especially to torment or to possess unbelieving people. And so anyway, in this, he says they see these pigs, and so he gave them permission. That's important. Jesus gave them permission. He could have sent them away, but instead he says, yeah, and the unclean spirits go out and entered the pigs, and the herd, numbering about 2,000, rushed down a steep bank and into the sea and drowned. So if you're on that side of the east side of the Sea of Galilee, the hills are very steep, and this herd of pigs that would have been somebody's property, right? The demons go in, and it says there are about 2,000 pigs. And when we see this, it says Legion, for we are many. They possessed all the pigs. So there were at least 2,000 unclean spirits in this poor guy. It says the herdsmen fled and told the city and the country, and the people came out to see what had happened. And they came to see Jesus and saw the demon-possessed man, the one who had the legion, sitting there, clothed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who had seen it described to them what had happened to the demon-possessed man and to the pigs. and they began to beg Jesus to depart from their region. They're not familiar really with, they're in the secular side. They don't worship God. They're afraid. They're used to this demonic activity, and they're not used to somebody having power over the demons. So they're worried. And the herdsman's probably a little upset because his pigs are all now drowned and gone. But it says, as he was getting into the boat, the man who had possessed him with demons begged him that he might be with him. Can you imagine that? These demons have possessed this man for as long as he can remember. He's probably inside his own brain, not in control of his body, just being tormented by these spirits telling him things and making him do things. And he just says, I just want to be with Jesus. You're the one who freed me and healed me. But Jesus did not permit him, and he said to him, go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has had mercy on you. And that man went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis, that is the 10 cities kind of in that region. It's this 10 city sort of conglomerate of government, how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone marveled. So this exercising of Jesus' power over the demonic realm began for him a reputation in the Decapolis of being a man of God, a man who had power over the demonic world. And those people would recognize that as, this is not just a man, this is not even just a prophet, this man is the Son of God, God himself, equal to God in heaven, and that's somebody that we need to know and follow. And so Jesus' reputation and his gospel and his ministry became well known in that region. And just like we read in Isaiah 49, preached through that here at Redeemer, that the reputation of Jesus and the gospel, the message that the servant of Yahweh would bring, would be that of salvation and of safety and of blessing to the entire world, not just to those people who were God's chosen people of Israel and of Judah, but to the whole world. And so we're seeing that now play out in the life and ministry of Jesus. So it's a fascinating story. What we want to take away from it is Jesus' divine authority over the demonic world, over the angelic world. And they did exactly as he commanded, and they knew exactly who he was. So the testimony of that world is that Jesus is in fact the Son of God, equal to God and the Savior of mankind. And they were going to do everything they could to prevent him from doing that. But even in this, they had to obey his authority. So hopefully that's encouraging to you, that Jesus is the Lord over everything. And you can live today knowing that that Savior of yours will live with you and provide for you and sustain you through the day. So hopefully that's encouraging. Be encouraged. Look forward to seeing you back tomorrow in the rest of Mark 5. Take care.